Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Hello.
Okay, so obviously we are the youngest speakers here, and we're the only two that come in a pair because we do everything together, and so yeah.
So I see everybody's talking about their gateway drug to activism, and I'd like to say that my gateway drug was meeting people like Angie Morris and Christina and all these wonderful women that inspired me, and of course Kaylin, most of all, who inspired me to keep going. So thank you for that.
Activism is defined as the policy or action using vigorous campaigning to bring about political or social change. We are proud to say that we are activists. But being an activist isn't as simple as a mere definition, and becoming an activist doesn't just happen. It takes struggle and pain to produce inspiration. In this society, we are told that using logic is the most important part of doing something with your life. But making a change comes from the heart. It comes from something deep inside of you. It summons tears from the eyes of your onlookers and a change in perception from those who listen. It connects people and makes us look beyond ourselves. It's your story and the stories of those struggling that activate the passion inside of you. Without every single woman and man who's made a change for the rest of us, we wouldn't have come as far as we have. But we're not done. The world needs people, especially young people, to stand up for all women, for all people of color, for all disabled people, for every single person in the LGBTQIA community, every single person who has faced discrimination and oppression based on who they are, and for the things they cannot change. Activism is passion. And this passion comes from watching children your age die in school when they're supposed to be learning geometry.
Correct.
Passion comes from watching children taken from their parents because of where they were born. It comes from listening to a man saying he assaults women and gets away with it because of his power, and then he gets elected president.
Yeah.
It comes from watching black people get shot by police officers, the people who are supposed to protect and serve us. It comes from people not realizing the extra struggle that minorities face. It comes from anyone who has ever been a bystander to the mistreatment of women. It comes from the fact that all people are still unable to respect the mere existence of others who are different than them.
As teenagers, we're always asked why we do what we do. Why do we dedicate our lives to create change? Well, it's not that we want to change the world all at once. It's not that we do it because it looks good on our resumes. We do it for us, ourselves, our generation, our livelihood, and our rights as human beings. We do it because, honestly, no one else will do it for us. We do it because of the experiences we've had, and these experiences have sparked something within us. There are always turning points in people's lives that make them motivated and empowered to do more, to be an activist. My turning point was the month after the 2016 presidential election. The Wednesday morning after the election, as I walked into the hallway to get to my locker at school, I heard loud chants of "pack your bags" echoing all around me. These chants were said by the kids that I had known for my 5 years of being in this country, and I saw myself as a part of them. As soon as I realized these chants were being directed towards me, the only brown person in the hallway, I knew that Trump's victory was far more than just an election. I knew that Trump's victory is far more than just an election for any minority that has been attacked by Trump and his campaign that uses fear and hatred to motivate people. The same tactics that have been used by wealthy and greedy men for centuries and even used today when the president is using fear to hold the government hostage in order to create an inefficient and ineffective wall, to create division. After the election, I was called a terrorist more often than ever before. My sisters feared to wear their hijab in public more than ever before. My mother feared for me to speak out more than ever before. That month changed my life. Because that month was also when I started speaking up for myself and speaking up more than ever before. And Trump's fear tactics definitely didn't work for everyone, because after that month, I was more fearless than ever before.
As a woman, you can't really pinpoint where you realize that life is different for you than it is for a man. It started for me in kindergarten when I'd lock the door of my car when a man walked by and my mom was in the store, but I would never do it when a girl walked by. It continued into second grade when a boy told me that girls aren't as strong as boys, and my female teacher said that he was right. It continued into fourth grade when I wore a pretty dress to school, and I went home crying because a boy made fun of my hairy legs. I didn't realize that it wasn't okay until I was in sixth grade and a boy made a rape joke on the bus to me, and he laughed, but I was so scared and I was so uncomfortable and confused. And you don't realize how bad things are until you're in high school and you get called a feminist bitch for standing up for women's rights and for yourself. But people still defend a grown man. People still defend a grown man when he admits on tape to assaulting women. We grow up with these small and big incidents happening to us, not realizing that it's actually rooted in our system until you're walking to your car with your keys in between your fingers without even realizing it. Until every single member of your family reminds you to take self-defense classes before you go to college. Until a woman is raped and men and women don't believe her, but he's given the benefit of the doubt. And until men ignore you when you tell them how many women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetimes. Men don't live their lives in constant fear of being murdered, kidnapped, beaten, or raped, like women do. But sadly, my fear and my experience is not the worst of all. Women of color, disabled women, transgender women, and so many other women who are more oppressed than white women face this so much more than us. So that's why I'm an activist. Not for me, but for all women, especially every single woman who is more discriminated against than white women, who are always ignored in the discussion of sexism.
These were our turning points where we decided to officially become activists and be more involved. But we both knew deep down inside that we had to do more because of our experiences in the past. We had moments in our lives that made us realize that we had to dedicate our lives to this. I dedicate my life to activism because seeing my friends, family, loved ones, and myself fight and suffer from mental illnesses and not get the help I need.
I dedicate my life to activism because Black people are 4 more times likely to get arrested for marijuana possession than white people.
Wow.
I dedicate my life to activism because lesbian, gay, bisexual youth are 5 times more likely to attempt suicide than heterosexual youth.
I dedicate my life to activism for every single person who has been a victim of gun violence.
I dedicate my life to activism because 1 in 5 women will be raped in their lifetimes.
These are facts and statistics about the negatives in our world. These help us guide us where we want to spend our time and efforts in activism. But certain things in our lives happen that are bigger motivators than anything that we can imagine. These things in life don't make you want to look for a reason. They don't want to make you look for logic. They don't want you to look for opportunities to make the world a better place. These disturbances in life make it seem impossible to do anything. These cruel, painful, and bitter events happen to way too many of us.
This happens to people of all ages. Mine happened to me when I was merely 6 years old. At that age, my life changed forever. Because from the ages of 6 to 8, I was sexually assaulted and raped many times. I believe that I was destined to do what I've done with my life now, and what I will to continue to do in the future. This cruel part of my life made it seem impossible for me to achieve my dreams or even live a normal life. But I didn't lose hope. Thanks to the people around me and my own willpower, I was able to overcome that. I kept fighting then, keep fighting now, and I'll continue to fight until the day I die. Finally, I dedicate my life to activism so I can do everything in my power to make sure that no one else has to go through what I went through and many others have gone through. I dedicate my life to activism because in the end, it's what keeps me fighting. Truly, it's activism for our lives.
So we have a lot of issues we have to fix in this country and all over this world, but they're never going to just disappear. It's the strength and the unity between all activists and all people who want to see a better world. When those of us who recognize the struggle that so many people face for existing come together, there's no one who can stop us.
Finally, at the end, I'd just like to say there's a lot of women in my life that I owe everything to, and they're the reason I'm here today. There's my mother and two sisters who weren't able to make it here today. There's this girl right here who's done so much for me, and everything I am doing is because of her. There's my aunt who's driven from New York City all the way just to see me speak. And a very special girl, Astrid, who I also love very much. Thank you.
So, to all of the girls and all the people who are afraid to stand up in fear of what will happen, in fear of being called something in school, or in fear of having a label, I've been through that, and it's going to be okay. You are strong, you are independent, and you can do whatever you put your mind to, even if you feel like you can't. In the end, I would just like to remind everyone that you can be the change that you want to see, no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter what labels the society has put you in, no matter what. You will be the change that you want to see. Thank you.
I knew you'd love that.
Yes, indeed.